Today, Liss and I are going to explore the topic of honor.
Hi, and welcome to Light for Life. If you are returning to our channel, thank you. We value and appreciate you. Our aim is to shine a bright light on your inner splendor and assist to connect you to your magnificence via what we intend to be enlightened sharing, potentially educational, and hopefully entertaining information, as well as encouragement for new perspectives. If you are new here, you are most welcome. We do hope that you will find our content highly beneficial and enjoyable. I am Liss. I'm a Science of Mind practitioner and a teacher of various healing modalities applicable to all aspects of the self and this life.
And I am Lori. I am a holistic wellness researcher and educator. Welcome to Connections with Liss and Lori. We use the space to offer our perspective regarding multiple different topics that we certainly hope you find inspiring. I immediately feel something when I say that word. I don't know about you, but I immediately feel a shift in energy when I say the word honor. For me, I believe honor really begins with the relationship that we have with ourselves. It's the inner reflection of how we feel about ourselves in our actions, in our interactions, and how we relate not just to individuals, but to life, to animals, to the environment, to other people in meetings. One of the first times I was actually introduced to the depth of honor was actually on a Zoom meeting. And a woman said, "If you cannot appear on camera and honor me with your presence, please leave the room." And I was really struck by that because it had such a powerful statement in and of itself about how we sometimes truly don't even honor ourselves enough to truly just show up for ourselves and for others. It's a mutual honor, right? It's a mutual honoring of our individual and collective divinity. And for me, it's an extension in a way of respect and compassion. Because ultimately, I feel we are truly all one in spirit, regardless of our form. Yes, I could see a plant as a different energy than me, but a plant is still alive. A plant still has life. And I feel it's important to respect all of life in every way. It's not separate. It's not separate from me. It's not separate from where we come from. It's either life or it's not. And for me, that's the intro, I would say, to what honor is. Before I start digging any deeper into that, I think maybe I'll just pause here and see what you say.
I loved what you said, Lori, and it truly does bring across the fact that honor is from the highest dimension. We really can't discuss it without discussing the divine. And I think that's largely why it's become an old-fashioned concept. Things like duty and honor are phrases and practices that were much more common in bygone years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we are slowly coming back to understanding that essence of honoring, what it means to honor ourselves and to honor everyone and everything else. And to me, it is distinct from respect. To me, respect is a quality of conduct. We respect others in terms of how we speak to them. We respect the role that they fulfill, even if we don't like them as individuals. Very often we have to respect a position. We have to respect authority. We have to respect a label or a badge. It's the mode of conduct that's acceptable to a 3D society. But honoring is so much more than that. Honoring is so much more than that. For me, honor is consequential. So what I mean by that is if, for example, you think about having personal boundaries. Boundaries is a big topic these days, right? How important it is to be well boundaried. But we all know that we can set our boundaries, and then when it comes to interactions or relationships with somewhat toxic people, they don't respect our boundaries. They trample all over our boundaries. They disregard our boundaries. So what do we do about that? They're not going to change. They're not going to stop. That's what makes them toxic in the first place. So what use is my boundary if you're just going to trample all over it and disregard it anyway? And that's where honor comes in. Because if I have set my personal boundaries and you are disrespecting them, in order to honor myself, there then has to be a consequence for the fact that you have done so. So perhaps the consequence is I am way more guarded the next time I have an exchange with you, or our exchanges are shorter, or I keep personal, private, and meaningful things to myself. But one way or another, there's a consequence for disrespecting what I feel I must honor for myself. And many people don't realize that a concept like boundaries needs that next step. And so that's what honor always is. It's a step up. I think respect is a given. It should always be there. It's the platform. But honoring is taking that higher. It's taking it to spirit. And that's the essence of it for me.
So you brought up a good point. When we're interacting with others and everything is harmonious and everything is going well, it's easy to have honor, right? But when things aren't exactly sunshine and rainbows and unicorns, how do we honor the entire situation, not just honor ourselves? How do we honor ourselves, the situation, the other person, the whole picture in harmony, and still, you know, like you said, still walk away being really okay with the fact that it might not have been a great interaction. It might not have been comfortable. It might have caused some discomfort. and and still be okay.
Well, for me, it comes down to how centered we are in our true selves. Because when we are stable and centered in our own true selves, that is when we honor the other's free will, regardless of what they are using that free will for. We are free from the need to attempt to control someone else, to infringe on their free will, to have their crazy opinion or their wild reaction or their judgment that we perhaps don't agree with. And to me, that's what honor is the ability to say, I couldn't agree with you less, but I honor your right to think so. I would never do that, but it's your choice. It all comes down to, are we trying to control or do we truly respect, in my opinion?
And I agree. I really think it's surrendering control, you know, so completely surrendering control and trust that there's a larger vision, even if we can't see it in that moment, even if we never see it. There is a larger picture going on there that we don't necessarily have to understand, but we have become so okay within ourselves that the situation is really okay. You know, I don't need to control the outcome. I don't need to control the narrative. I don't need to try to change somebody's mind. We're just not on the same page, and that's okay. You know, we
Why do
can't.
we need to make each other wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The complete surrender of control is not making that other person wrong and not making ourselves right. It's just honoring that this is how I feel. I honor that that's how you feel. And we're just not in the same place with how we we perceive the situation, or we honor the outcome.
Exactly, and release it. And
Hmm.
that's why I actually spoke about this on my own channel a couple of episodes ago. Um, I spoke about it in relation to money, of all things. But the reason that honor is so applicable to that is because if we look at this from a Christian perspective for a minute, and we look at the commandments in the Bible, we've got on the lower end 5 commandments that are all to do with how we should treat each other. And those are perfectly obvious. They need no explanation. Don't do this,
Hmm.
don't do that, don't do the next thing. Not a good idea. Then on the top end, we've got 3 commandments about what our relationship to the divine should be.
Hmm.
And all of those are explained in detail. Like
Hmm.
the divine is not telling us to do this without good cause. So those commandments are all explained. And then the glue that holds those together, the relationship with the divine and the relationship with others, the commandment that's right in the middle is the one that tells us to honor our father and mother.
Hmm.
It's the only one that comes with a promise. It's the only one that comes with a reward so that you may live long. So that is why we are taught to honor our parents instead of just respect them. I mean, we're supposed to respect everybody. Why is it different for our father and mother? Because they were the channels of the divine for us to have this physical incarnation. So whether they made mistakes or they hurt us or they were good or terrible parents, regardless, as our channels of incarnation, we should honor that. We chose that. The divine used that. And because our relationship to money is so linked to our relationship to our parents, they are also the channel through which our very life energy is returned to us in the form of money. So
Hmm.
that's one little manifestation secret I can share. That it becomes so much easier to manifest abundance financially when we are holding our parents in that state of honor. And that doesn't mean that we've made all their mistakes okay. Not at all. But we hold them in sufficient grace and mercy to realize that they were our channels for this incarnation, and as such should be honored.
That's really beautiful. I never even thought of that when we were picking topics for today. That never even crossed my mind. I love that. And it's so true. The very first one that I think of is honor thy father and mother. And I I never saw it quite like that. But it goes back to what we were just saying. It isn't about making our parents wrong and holding them accountable for all of the things that they did wrong and for all of the ways that our lives are a mess. It's honoring. For me, it's honoring that they did the very best job that they knew how to do with the tools that they had on hand at that time. Even if it was a train wreck of a job.
Yeah.
They did their absolute best with the tools that they had on board to be a parent, to raise another human in this world. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of struggle with their upbringing or their parents, is that sometimes, let's be honest, parents don't do a stellar job, but they
Mm.
were still the vessel that brought us here. They were
Yeah,
still the conduit that
yeah.
gave us life. And it's up to us to just merely honor that they gave us life. And now we are responsible for what to do with that.
Mm.
How
Yes.
are we going to align? Are we going to align with our greatest and most glorious outcomes? Or are we going to align with all of the things that they did wrong and blame them for all of our problems? And it really is a dishonor, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a divine essence that flows through everything, right? And we are
Yes.
an extension of that.
Mm. I was
So,
going to say the energy of honoring to me literally feels golden.
yeah.
When I connect to that energy field and I think of grace and I think of mercy,
Mhm,
honoring feels like the gentlest golden rain.
mhm,
And I think the more of our lives, ourselves, and our relationships and circumstances that we can cover in that gentle golden shower,
mhm,
the more we can truly honor the roles that we play for one another, even when those roles are dark.
mhm. Perhaps especially
I
when they're
mean,
dark, because they're opportunities to
yeah,
learn again, right?
yeah. I mean, I had a dad who abandoned me, 100% abandoned me. So logic would say, how do you honor that? That was an atrocious choice. Walk out on your daughter, all of, 3 months old,
Yeah,
never provide for her,
yeah,
ever. How do you honor that?
yeah.
Well, to truly honor his divine essence, to truly honor my soul in choosing this incarnation, is to honor the fact that that is a role he was playing for me. I chose to learn certain lessons from that experience. Now, was it lousy in the experience of it? For sure. Did I have to heal from that experience? Yeah. I mean, for years, the only emotion I could hold was that he's already dead to me. I never really hated him. He was just dead to me. And to be able to arrive at a place where, no, actually, Daddy, you walked away, but I honor you. I honor you. And that's genuinely the way that I can feel. What a gift to myself.
Mhm. Yes. What a tremendous gift to ourselves when we can let go of blaming and shaming our parents or anyone
Yeah.
else in our lives that might have
Yes.
disappointed us or abandoned us or abused us or whatever.
Yeah. And it doesn't make the conduct okay. That's the
Right.
beauty of honoring. We're not telling ourselves that that was all right. It wasn't. It is a violation or an abdication. And yet, we can honor anyway.
Mhm.
That's the miracle of it.
Because it's about us anyway. It's not about them.
Exactly.
Thank you for connecting with Light for Life. If you appreciate reminders, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can receive those notifications. If you would like to work with one of us, you can find our contact information in the About section of this channel.
Yes, thank you for connecting with Light for Life. Please share your insights, your questions, and your comments with us in the comment section below. We value your feedback. And we really hope that we will see you for our next episode. We upload one every Thursday. Until then, bye-bye and be joyful.
Until we connect again, we send you love and light.